Ladies and gentlemen, Group A at the Copa America has concluded. Argentina winning the group, Canada runners up, and the Chileans and the Peruanos are going home early. I feel like there's a lot of interesting things we can discuss about not just how match day 3 went down, but how the entire group played out. As always, guys, if you like Copa America videos, smash the like button, hit subscribe. We're doing this every single night for the entire tournament. And let me know your biggest takeaway down below. We're going to start with Canada Chile. Very quickly, it was a chippy game, extremely physical, extremely physical. These guys, I don't know how many times Canada Chile played in the history of these selecciones, but they hate each other. I promise you they do. I thought it was a really stupid double yellow card from Salso, pretty much threw the game for Chile, and then they fought valiantly, but you're not beating this Canada side down a man for that long. You're just not. It was a USA Panama game all over, dude. I'm really frustrated, and I want to hear what you think, obviously, because you and I are big Gareca fans, right? And we were very excited about this appointment, and now they're going out in third place, 0 goals scored in 3 games. I mean, Gareca suspended for the final match day. I want to ask you, what does this Copa America mean for both Chile and Gareca? Whichever one you want to take first.
For both Chile and Gareca, I think at the risk of being too over dramatic, I think that Gareca takes a little bit of a hit here. I understand that he only had 4 matches in charge coming into the Copa America, and you have to keep that. You have to take that into account. You have to keep that at the forefront of your mind when you're actually taking into account what this means for him going forward. 3 matches. Perfect. Mm-hmm. I mean, regardless. It's a very small sample size, and he doesn't have enough time. We know that he likes to go from the ground up, getting players involved. I think that it takes a little bit of a hit in my mind, though, right? The Gareca effect, what does it mean? Really, the biggest thing, it's not the results that get me. It's not that they get bounced out in the way that they did. It's the fact that not a single goal was scored in that time for Chile. That is the biggest red flag for me, dude. And I can't figure it out in my mind. It's like I have to go back and watch the games again and think, what is going on here? Is it the fact that Ben didn't start every single game? I don't think that's it, though. I'm just a little worried. I'm a little worried of what that means. Now, is 2026 in jeopardy for them? No, I think that they have taken such a massive step forward with Gareca at the helm that they're going to be competitive. And I still think that they qualify for 2026, especially with the new Copa or the new Mundial layout, the extra teams included. I think they still make a charge there. It's not like they played incompetent, but the fact that they were impotent in their goal scoring is a massive red flag for me. And frankly, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in them. Yeah.
I think you should be disappointed. I think Chileans should be disappointed. I mean, you look at how they played in the friendlies, and I get their friendlies. You're playing with house money almost. But dude, it was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, genuinely, I don't know. It was like a Pokemon that devolved, right? We went from was it Raichu down to Pikachu?
Yeah, we went from Raichu to Pikachu. You're right.
Yeah, we literally devolved as a team here. And I'm looking at it, and I have a lot of respect for Gareca. I don't think that the appointment was invalidated by this Copa. I think it was a mixture, though, of bad luck, and I'll get into that in a second. We'll talk about Canada, who I think got a little fortunate in this group, but also some bad decisions. Some bad decisions, I think, namely, Brereton Diaz getting so few minutes, not just in this game, a must-win game against Canada, who were more than happy to take a draw, but in the other 2 games as well. I thought it was tactically naive for Gareca, especially given how well Brereton played in the friendlies, to give him just some crumb minutes at the end of these games.
Yeah.
I'm really upset about that.
At what point does your agenda as the head coach get superseded by this player's performance, right? And we were applauding Gareca's sort of modus operandi regarding Ben. We liked the fact that he came in, put his foot down, and said, look, you don't speak Spanish, you don't play. He still got a decent amount of minutes. Like, he said he wasn't going to play, like he will not be included. He's included. So the concession was made. Maybe the few amount of minutes is his area where he didn't want to give any ground. That was the line in the sand that he drew. But you have to think, especially after Brereton's performance against Argentina, which I think was the best out of his 3 matches, that, I mean, something's got to give. Something's got to give. Crumb minutes are unacceptable when it gets to that point, and the proof is in the pudding. You know, I'm happy to go back on my word after we get a correct sample size, and I think you see it here. I think you see it here that it's the wrong call from Gareca, which I do not say often, and I don't say lightly.
Right. But it is the wrong call.
It is the wrong call. The man needs more minutes. If
Yeah.
you are this impotent in the Copa America, for sure. Get the man a tutor, meet halfway, something. But that line in the sand needs to get blurred.
It does. It felt, I think if there's one thing that even Peruanos will agree is kind of Gareca's downfall is he can be a bit stubborn. And I
Yeah.
think you saw that on display with Brereton because Davila wasn't really doing much. Eduardo Vargas was a ghost in all 3 games for Chile. Alexis Sanchez, I mean, I don't want to kill this man, but am I tripping if I say this Copa America campaign was over when they drew Peru 0-0 in the first game?
I think you might be tripping.
Okay.
I think you might be tripping because that was a big rivalry game. You needed a result against Canada. You needed it. Listen, if it was over then, nobody would be saying that this is the most important game today. The reason we streamed, the reason that I hopped on to stream today was to watch Argentina. I mean, or the reason that we streamed Argentina was because I am Argentine, right? Outside of that, if it was just on paper, we're streaming Canada Chile. Full stop.
Correct.
It is a
Correct.
red card that comes out of nowhere. I mean, that nobody saw coming, especially when you take into account Timothy Weah's red card. You think surely we're not going to see any more stupid red cards. I bet you. Who was it that called it? Who was it that got the red card?
Sousa.
For Sauso. I bet you that Sauso se estaba burlando. I bet you he was clowning Timothy Weah for that red card. That boy going home in the bathroom just like Timothy Weah.
Oh, he's the bad guy now.
Oh, yeah, you not riding coach. We're going to put you in a dog kennel and you riding underneath the plane.
Correct. As you should. Idiotic yellows to pick up.
If it's a Peruvian air marshal, he's getting handcuffed and he's waiting in the brig.
Yeah.
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 Because that was criminal,
Dude, I think
what he did.
I think you're right. I'm being a little emotional about it because I was so disappointed how Chile looked against Peru while being impressed by Peru's defense. And this is where I say earlier, I'll reiterate that Chile got a little unlucky, and this is why I don't think it's a massive hit for Gareca, because one, he's suspended. He shouldn't be getting suspended, but he's not even on the touchline for this match. And when you got a player getting a red card in the 20th minute, 25th minute, whatever it is, I mean, well, there goes the fucking game plan, dude. Doesn't matter what you drilled in training for the past 4 days. You went down a man against a Canadian team that's younger than you and more athletic than you, and they need a draw, fam. So they don't have to chase you. It's just awareness. I was going to say this later, but I'll just say it now. Dude, my biggest takeaway from Group A is CONMEBOL just shot themselves in the foot. They did it to themselves. Like, you got to say it's 50% a very strong performance from Canada. Jesse Marsh coming in here with a plan. You have to give them credit. You have to, and we will. I'm impressed with Canada. But you have to also look at the other side of the coin and say you played 2 back-to-back matches against 10 men. It's hard to assess it, man. It's hard to say Jesse Marsh masterclass when in the full 90 minutes of an 11v11 game, especially in the second half against Argentina, he got thoroughly outplayed. So it's tough. CONMEBOL, bro. Y'all did it to yourselves. I mean, don't clown CONCACAF. I don't want to see any Mexico and USA jokes tonight on Twitter. I want to see a lot of South Americans looking in the mirror and saying, what have we done? That's what I saw from this group. I want to talk about Canada and want to get your thoughts on Canada. I'm going to intro this because I don't know if you might have missed this because you were more focused on the Argentina game, but this is going to be the topic around this team. In, I think, the 12th or 10th minute, Bombito, one of the center backs, who you and I have been a fan of, a little critical, but fans of, he elbows a Chilean player in the face arguably worse than what Tim Weah did, and it doesn't go to VAR, and he only gets a yellow card for it. In fact, you know what? I obviously can't show this for copyright reasons, but I'm gonna share my screen, Connor. I'll cut this in post. I want you to see this, and you tell me what you think about this.
Okay. Hey, you saw how my boy was like, hey.
Kyle Aaron was like, he just fell. No, he didn't. He got elbowed in the face, in the chin, dude.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, man. I don't
That's
know what to
bad.
say
That
about that. I don't know what to say about that outside of you got really, 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 really lucky. Because if that gets called, Chileans don't get a red card. Chile advances today.
correct.
If there
Correct.
was not a rivalry between Chile and Canada, there is one now. There is one
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
Get ready, because that is criminal. That is
It's a
criminal.
howler of a call, man.
A
To
howler.
miss that. That was a UFC move. I've seen guys do that. Last time I saw a move like that, dude, I was in Bangkok. I was at a Muay Thai fight. That's the
We had
last
a
time I
Muay
saw
Thai
somebody do something
fight.
like, bro, swear to God. Swear to God. Now, I think you and I can also at the same time be like, all right, Chile's benefited in the past from, a little bit of dark arts. So maybe this is karma coming around. But regardless, Canadians very, very lucky there. Um,
Very, very lucky.
do you think, based on what you've seen in these three games, first I want to ask you, who do you think Canada's best player has been? Second, I want to ask you how impressed you've been with Jesse Marsh. And three, I want to ask you, do you think, depending on their quarterfinals matchup, one of the three possibilities in Group B, how are you feeling about their chances? Let's start with best player real quick. You and I, we can go quick fire on these.
Best player, dude. I think you got to give it to Crepeau. I think you got to give it to
I think,
Crepeau.
dude, Crepeau's been, I think after today, I mean, it was
He's
probably
got the
him, Emmy, and Mosquera, maybe. Bro, I
yeah.
think Crepeau is
He's got the
he's
Golden
creating
Glove
some
right now. If
distance.
it ended today, it's him. It's him.
Correct.
Um, Debo just didn't face the amount of opportunities that he did. Like there were a couple confusing
Yeah.
moments and a couple of vulnerabilities, and we'll get to that. But yeah, I think Crepeau's pretty clear there. Um, right after that, I'd say so far Schaffelberg, and that is in spite of the fact that he did not play an incredible game today. He did not play an incredible game today, but I think that was probably part of the game plan
Yeah.
going up against them, was to neutralize him. Um, yeah, cripple by a mile right now, though.
I think dude, I was looking at the stats. 14 saves through 3 games. He cooking right now.
Come on, come on, baby. You
He's
coming up
whipping
on
up
damn near 5 saves a game? No,
it ain't even a short
no,
stack right now. It's like
it's
it's a
not a
tall
short stack.
stack.
You got a tall stack. That's a long distance trucker meal. I drove
Mhm.
through the night. I got another 3 states to get through. It's gonna take me
Mhm.
all day. I got 4 hours of sleep. I'm getting this big stack and a Red Bull, one of the
Correct.
big ones, so I can keep it pushing.
Correct.
That's a
He checked
that's
his he checked his work inbox, said, "Damn, I'm driving to Saskatchewan today. Yeah, it's time for some tall stack Kodiak cakes. Make it multi-grain and douse it in
mul-
syrup."
make it multi-grain. Yes, that's JJ Watt on his cheat meal.
Correct.
Yep,
Crepeau, man. Beast mode. One more
beast mode.
question. Do you think Canadians should be concerned that it's been a pretty chill tournament from their 2 stars, Jonathan David and Alfonso Davies so far?
I'll tell you what. Take Canadian fans out of the picture. You and I, we care about these two players, specifically Jonathan David. We both have a vested interest in seeing him succeed. And I say that
Mhm.
as a U.S. men's national team fan. I'm adamant about this guy's skill. I like him. I am a little bit concerned. You also have to take into account they're playing some pretty good defenses here. So I think we got to give them a little slack, right?
Mhm.
That being
Mhm.
said, if you want to compete at a higher level, yada yada yada, yes, you should be concerned. Canadian fans, however, I give a damn. Canada in their first Copa America has just advanced. Kudos to them. I never thought I would see this. Congratulations. Eat your pancakes. The Maple Syrup Brigade has advanced, and frankly, well deserved. Well
Oh,
deserved.
tonight? Canadians talk yo shit.
Talk your shit.
Act a fool on Twitter.
Act a fool. It
Y'all
happened.
deserve it.
You wanna know
Honestly,
the first thing I did? First thing I did after they won? I slid into Eric
turned on an ice
Giannini's
hockey game.
I said Toronto Maple Leafs going all the way. Drake's up
you
tremendous.
you
He
bought a
said
Canucks
Kendrick
kit.
who? Yeah. No, I slid into Eric Giannini's DMs and I said, "Congratulations." I gave him his just desserts. He earned it.
This is one of
Um,
our Canadian friends for context. And the
yeah.
shame in that is man ain't got no clue the Copa America is going
Man,
on right
does
now.
he couldn't name a player. Maybe Alfonso
Couldn't name
Davies.
a play. He'd be like Pulisic. I mean,
He'd
it
be
would
like,
be
Jonathan David, is that a reserve guy for
yeah.
Boston?
He'd
Like the
say
Celtics? I don't
Andrew
know.
Wiggins. Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
which is half credit. He is Canadian, but that's a basketball player. No, I agree. What you think about Jesse Marsh?
Jesse Marsh?
Let's say let me ask you this. Let me ask you this way. They lose in the quarterfinals, let's just say against anybody. Mission accomplished, successful campaign for Jesse Marsh.
100%.
Okay,
I
I
think
agree.
it's beyond reproach. I think it's
I
beyond
agree.
reproach that let's take this into account. Let's just give this some context here. You can't pay your players, the Canadian FA. We're having issues paying them.
Mhm.
There's dissent in the locker room. Your last coach left a huge boot to fill, and you're down bad in CONCACAF, at least reputation wise. You
Reputation
come
wise,
in
yeah.
here, you're the first CONCACAF team to qualify, you're the new coach, you're American, and you
Mm.
get the boys to play like a cohesive soccer team. I think the only question you can throw Jesse Marsh's way, he has a sterling record here. The only reason I don't give him 5 stars is because you can't score. You can't score. That is your one reproach here
Mhm.
that I would take
And
against
I
him.
don't even think that's his fault. If there's one thing I've seen from this Canadian side that really, really concerns me, it's dude, the final ball. It doesn't matter if it's Davies or Liam Miller, God help me, or Richie Larea. It's just terrible quality. Like
Yeah.
I think two things can be true at the same time. Jonathan David is not at his best. Kyle Laren is a tronco. He's a trunk. But they're also it's not like they're just whiffing chance after chance after chance. Like the
Yeah.
ball isn't even clear on the first man half the
No.
time. So that's a problem for the Canadians. But I agree, dude. Biggest loser from Group A so far might be Jamaica because they've been to 3 Copa Americas now, haven't won a game, finally scored a goal, and they've been grouped in all 3. And Canada showing them how it's done in one visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. Um I don't think I have any more notes on this. I thought that the Chileans, I mean, they were really up against it after the red, and it was they created a couple dangerous chances after that. Crepo did what he needed to, and now Chile are going home with 2 points, which is a failure of a campaign for the Chileans. Let's go into Argentina Peru. This is the game that you focused more on.
Let's
Do you
do
want
it.
to give like a quick, 30-second synopsis of how you felt this somewhat rotated Argentine squad did against a Peru that needed a win to advance?
So, I gotta give some credit to Peru just before we go any further. Contextually, they, in my opinion, are the second worst team in CONMEBOL. They've been in absolute shambles ever since Gareca left. They did not play like that this Copa America. They did not play
No.
like that in any way, shape, or form. They look, I don't want to say defensively sound because that's a pretty sweeping attribute, or that's a pretty sweeping attribution, to them. But they played so much better than the sum of their parts, and they played ball that I did not know that they were currently capable of. So I don't know if you attribute that to Fossati or the fact that it's the Copa America. They said, we're using spite to motivate us the whole time. I don't care what it is. You got to give them credit. Argentina largely nullified that in their game today. Argentina took control of the ball. They played their game. They took Peru out of the driver's seat. The Peruvian press was largely counteracted. And I would say that's can be attributed to putting in Otamendi and Paredes in as starters, making sure that Argentina was a very annoying team to play against today. Because, a lot of these guys, notorious floppers, which, dude, like it or hate it, love it or hate it, it kept Argentina in the driver's seat in a game where they had a pretty big problem scoring. They didn't generate nearly as many chances as their first 2 games, And Peru made it difficult where they could, but I mean, Argentina dominated the majority of the game. It was really nice. It was a really nice game from Argentina,
Uh,
and Lautaro's done well to get 2 goals today.
yeah, great game from Lautaro. I'm looking at the stats here, and I think some absolute Argentine haters, and we have many on the channel. You know who you are. They'll say like, "Oh,
You're one of
Argentina, this is a."
Of course I
I'm
know.
not a hater.
He's you.
I'm not a I'm Switzerland. I am the Switzerland of the Argentine versus the rest of Latin America civil war. I play the fence every time, and I do it well. They will look at the stats and they will say, Argentina, they got 2 goals. They had 12 shots. Peru had 6. I'm looking at Peru's shots right now on the shot map. 4 of their 6 are about 35 yards out or further away. One is at midfield. So I think this was thoroughly a controlling Argentine win from what I saw. I thought Montiel looked pretty good, although he did get beat on that one header. That was probably the most dangerous Peruvian moment. I wish I knew what player puts the ball off the post. I
Yes,
can try to
he
find
did
that real
get
quick.
beat, but there was another Argentine player. It was number 2. Who the hell is number 2 for
I
us?
think it was Analeto. I think it was Analeto. Number 2
Okay.
was Lucas Cuarta. Yeah, he was on there. He was on for that.
Cuarta got cooked there too because he's in front of the ball. I mean, if he gets
Mhm,
off his man and paces back 2-3 feet, he can get to that ball and clear it out. It is what it is. He's worried about his
mhm.
man, which is totally understandable. So what have you? But it was a collective effort there. Peru got very unlucky to hit the post there because I don't think it was a Dibu save. I think it was a post, right?
It was a post. Yeah.
It was the post. Yeah. That was almost a golazo.
Oh, would have been great. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Analeto, looking back at it. I think it was Marcus Lopez who had the best shot for Peru today outside the box, and that's the Emmy save that you're thinking of, where he
Woo.
kind of dives for it. It's a good
Yeah,
save.
it was a good
But I
save.
mean,
But
I'm looking at the shot map. I mean, he is
he's
barely
far.
within like the Argentine half. Like he just said, "F it, I'll do it myself."
Yep.
And I want to have a little conversation here about Peru because I look at them and I say, okay, you overperformed my expectations how good you look defensively. But I think that entire reason, and push back if you disagree, is that Fossati might be the most defensive manager I've ever seen. I mean, he makes Carlos Queiroz look like he plays like Postacoglu ball. It is a 5-5-0 pretty much. I mean, and in a must-win game here, to not start Lapadula, who that man has been running his ass off for his country.
Their
To
best
not
player?
start him in this game, their best player, him and Sergio Pena, their best
Yep.
players. To not start him, I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That was a head scratcher for me. Paulo Guerrero? We've already seen him get pocketed by Argentina 6 months ago. We need to see it again? We're gonna run it back? I didn't like that. I didn't like that. So how do you feel about it? Because are you in the camp where it's like, all right, Fossati, he gives them defensive structure. He doesn't have a choice. If he didn't play this way, Peru get annihilated. Or do
No,
you think he made the
no, no,
right
no.
call in these games?
No, because guess what? When Lapadula came in, it wasn't that much of a switch. Like the game plan didn't change. It's not like, and I know that I've just been on the Chino Huerta chain. Chino Huerta has an impact whenever he comes into the game. It was not felt like that. The game plan didn't switch when Lapadula came in. It was not a night and day difference there. It was largely the same. So you know what I think? You know what I would attribute it to? Fossati's an old head. He probably goes for some like by the book gritty stuff. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna ice Lapadula and I'm gonna show him that he needs to prove himself and see if he could do like a super sub. I'm gonna give the next guy up a chance, hopefully piss off Lapadula to encourage him to do something. I think maybe he's
Mhm.
playing some head games there because, dude, if you're watching the game, that is the only explanation. Unless there's some like Fossati, galaxy brain plan that he's going for, which I highly doubt because Cowboy, it didn't play off. It looked largely one dimensional.
Do you think it's a failure that Peru took 1 point?
No, because I expected them to do worse. I think in my predictions, I said they wouldn't even score, which they have, right?
Did they score? No, dude, I don't think they scored.
Okay. Well, the fact that they took a point is more than I expected because I thought they were going to get 0 points. Yeah. Not a single goal made. It is what it is. It is what it
Mhm.
is. And that's what you get with Fossati ball.
I would give Fossati ball. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10
Yeah.
because I think it probably gave Peru the best chance that they could against Argentina. It got them a draw against Chile. And dude, like again, CONMEBOL, you did this to yourself. They were the better team against Canada. And you get the red, and Jonathan David goes on to score. That I mean, you lost the Copa right there, dude. You take
You
three
lost it.
points
That's,
against Canada. You're coming into Argentina with 4 points. You bunker down. Who cares? You're probably through anyways.
dude, you remember what you said about Chile? Was it over that first match day? I think you can say that when they get that red card. That red card
Yes.
killed the tournament for them.
That ended their Copa America. Yeah.
That ended their Copa. It was over right there. And I say
Mhm.
that as a pretty staunch Peru supporter.
Mhm.
I know that I've been
Mhm.
pro Chile lately. Nothing against the Peruvians. It's more pro Gareca than anything. But I think it's right there. Right
Yeah.
there that you just watch the light fade from their eyes.
Yeah. Both of them walking out as losers, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both of them. Dude,
Largely. Yes.
what do you think the South American press in both of these nations is saying right now, knowing that Canada advanced over both of them? Because you know they don't respect the Canadians. I promise you, they look at them as like humanoids in the footballing world.
You know what it is right now? In Peru, they are 100% not focusing on Canada because guess what? None of their pundits know anything about Canada, first of all.
First of all,
Secondly, they're focused on Gareca. They're focused on Gareca's failure. That's what the dialogue is here. Disappointment for Peru, but
hmm
Gareca wasn't able to do it as well. That's what they're shifting. They're probably saying, disappointing result for Peru, blah, blah, excuses, excuses, what have you, what have you. Any silver linings? No, probably beating the hell out of them. But also, Gareca couldn't do it with Chile. Gareca couldn't do it with Chile. And then they're talking about Argentina because guess what? They got no talking points about Canada. These guys don't
no,
know who. These guys don't know who Tejan Buchanan is.
hey,
They don't.
nobody is gonna know Tejan
Poquito.
Buchanan is if he keeps playing like he's playing.
What's his name? Oluwaneyi?
The striker for yeah, I think I don't know
Nobody.
his name.
I
Oh,
guarantee you there may be 4 people in Peru, the country, in Peru overall who know that man.
I was about
And
to say
one of them is Fossati.
there's one independent newspaper in Cusco that printed there's printing a newspaper right now, and the headline is like "El Gigante Nuevo de CONCACAF?" question mark, and it's a picture of
And
Bombito elbowing a Chilean player in the face.
that boy lost his job today. The editor
Yeah,
was like, "Hell
yeah.
no, get that out of my face."
It said, no, we don't put respect on the we don't even entertain the idea that they
He said,
could be
I want a
legitimate footballing
picture
nations.
of Gareca in tears right now.
hmm
Front page.
Photoshop it. Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I think they'll take solace in knowing, like, okay, well, like our rivals couldn't do it either, because we know the South Americans. Some things can get spiteful down there. I have no doubt about that. Anything you want to say about Argentina? Any like biggest surprise from their group stage performance, either good or bad, that you observed,
Uh, good takeaways,
or bad,
bad
or bad?
takeaways. We got to work on our finishing. I think that's been true throughout the entire Copa so far, throughout the entire group stage. You got to work on that. Happy for Lautaro to get the 2 goals. I think he's the clear starter now. Tagliafico's been good. Lo Celso got a lot to prove. We're missing McAllister. We're missing Messi. And yeah, hopefully he comes back from that hip flexor strain, whatever he had there, groin strain. It is what it is, but it's nice to see. It's nice to see. I read a comment that Argentina's record without Messi has been 10 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss. And the loss was in against Brazil in 2018, 0-1. So I think it's another positive here that we take another win without Messi. I think it's
Mhm.
good. I think it's good, and I like the way that we control the game. Emi Martinez, dude, the guy needs to block some easy shots and get back on his high horse because I'm scared that his mojo is not going to be right for when we face a big team and we inevitably go to pens again.
Well, that won't be to the final. I can promise you that. And the shit show that is Group B, I don't really think Argentina much to worry about there. But I will conclude my thoughts by saying that this is a good example. I thought this game in particular was a good example of Argentina not being as Messi reliant as they were in the past. This team has evolved. This team is good enough to cope without Messi. Like, let's not forget that Paredes also missed a pen. This was really a 3-0. This was
Yeah.
a 3-0 victory against a desperate, salivating Peru side without Messi, without Cuti Romero, without McAllister, without De Paul, without Enzo, without Montiel, or not Montiel, Molina, and you won 3
Yeah.
nothing theoretically.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You're right.
this
You're
this
right.
team is bigger than Messi. That so if I was
This team is
Argentine,
bigger than this.
I would take comfort in that. Any closing thoughts before we end the episode?
No, no, I think well said, well done. Thank you for everybody for sticking with me through the stream. We had some technical difficulties, but it was fun. Looking forward to the rest of the groups, baby.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We got Group B live streams kicking off tomorrow. Hopefully, we don't have another mate spill. That would be disastrous. I'm not sure the channel can survive a second one. Guys, if you want to be on that live stream, we're kicking off 15 minutes before the games go live. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Social media links in the description. Jump in the Discord if you dare to talk Copa America with the rest of the Dead Ball TV community. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. Smash the like button if you enjoy. Hit subscribe for more Copa content. We'll see you guys back on the channel tomorrow.